All right, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. You're all welcome to this web design orientation or web design session. So in today's session, we are going to be walking you through the web design environment. All right. So if you're here today, it therefore means that you actually want to become a web designer or a web developer. And maybe you actually had the passion of becoming a web developer, and that's the reason why you all are here. So in today's session, we are going to walk you through the process. We are going to explain the various modules which you're going to see throughout this course and what you're going to get at the end of the course. All right. So today I'm here with Madame Gomabetin. She's equally going to be, she's a co-tutor as far as the web design class is concerned. All right. And after the orientation or the modules, we are going to tell you when the program is going to begin and what you actually need in order to kick off with the web design session. Now, web design is a very, very important and fundamental tool as far as digital marketing is concerned. All right. So you can't talk about digital marketing without a website. That's why we say when we are actually going through the digital marketing course, we always make sure we let you know, we make you to understand that 80% of whatever we are doing as far as digital marketing is concerned is linked up to a website. And 20% of it, you can actually do it without a website. That is why for every digital marketing expert, it is very, very important for you to actually learn how to design a website. So you can actually not only get clients for digital marketing, but of course, you can equally get clients for web design. There are so many companies out there when they are looking for a digital marketing specialist or for a digital marketing expert. One of their requirements or specification is that you should know how to design a website, right? So there are two major ways you can actually design a website. We have the coding. Sorry, there are three major ways. We have the coding, which is with the HTML. We have the Python, and we have the CMS when you're using a content management system. That is the codeless way of designing a website. So web development actually started with HTML. HTML simply means you're bringing together codes, hypertext markup language. You're bringing together codes which are going to be interpreted by only the computer system. So it's a programming language which is best understood by the computer system. So once the computer is able to translate that language, you'll be able to reproduce maybe the websites which you see out there. All right. So web development, actually, when they started creating websites, was with the use of um, the HTML codes. All right. So when you're designing websites in recent time, you're equally going to come across other sections of a website which has to deal with coding. All right. So it is very, very important that as a web developer, if you're designing a website, maybe using a content management system, it is important that you know a little bit about coding. All right. So that's what we are going to be doing during our web design session. So I'm just going to share the module with you. And once I've been able to explain these modules with you, then I'm going to show you typical examples of websites that have been designed with HTML, have been designed with a content management system. So I'm just going to share. All right, so I will be explaining to you the various modules which we are going to see as far as web design is concerned. So there are 27 major modules which we are going to be looking at throughout this course. All right. And it's going to take us, I think, approximately 2 to 3 months as well to be able to cover what you have on the screen. All right. So we are going to be designing websites using what we call the content management system, or WordPress, as some of you may call it. All right. So the content management system is simply a platform where you just design websites using the front end and the back end without any coding. All right. So it's like what you always say, garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you type in, that's the same information you're going to get. All right. So you'll be able to design a website from the front end and the back end. All right. So once you are doing your designs, you're actually seeing how it is going to look like when you have not even published the website, which is very, very important. All right. So these are the various modules. There are 27 of them. All right. We have the open source software which we are going to be using to design the websites. We are going to actually give you a software which you're going to install, all right, on your PC, so you can actually design your website offline. If you actually don't want to go online immediately, you can design your website offline. Once you're done, you'll be able to maybe move that site to maybe any hosting platform. All right. So we are going to equally teach you how to create a WordPress, creating a WordPress website. All right. We're going to teach you how to log into your dashboard. You're going to have a dashboard whereby it's actually going to um, give you a summary of of the various buttons, the various menus which you're going to be using throughout the web design process. All right. We're going to learn about the WordPress interface. We're going to learn how to do some changes as far as WordPress is concerned. Right. Then we are equally going to be talking about plugins. All right. These are tools which you use in order to add some features to your website. For example, if you want to add, let's say, WhatsApp to your website, maybe you want to add live chat to your website. All right. Features. If you want to add more features to your website, then you need to use what we call plugins. All right. You need to install these plugins on your website so you can have those extra features on your website. They will be talking about the page screen. All right. Switching between your visual and your text editor. All right. Uh, in recent times, so many things have changed in such a way that uh, we no longer have a scenario where we have to be switching from the visual to the text, because when you switch to the text, you will still have all the HTML codings. All right. But when you're working with just the visual editor, you actually see what you actually see the outcome of what you are to get after designing the website. All right. So we're going to learn how to create web pages. We're going to learn how to create posts. We're going to learn how to create menus. All right. So all of this, I'm going to maybe open a website and explain to you vividly what all this is going to look like. We're going to be talking about inserting hyperlinks. Hyperlinks simply means that you are adding um, let's say backlinks. All right. So you notice that when you visit a website and you click on a particular text, it takes you to another page. All right. That is a link. That is what we call a hyperlink. You're going to learn how to do that as well. You're equally going to learn how to add shortcodes. So for digital marketers, those who are actually taking the digital marketing course, let's say digital marketing students, you're going to actually learn how to add shortcodes to your website. All right. So during let's say Facebook part two, or when you'll be looking at Google Ads, or when you'll be looking at SEOs, you're going to learn how you can actually copy codes and you place them on at the back end of your website. We're equally going to talk on how you can add images, adding a photo gallery to your website. All right, we're going to learn how to create a contact form. So if someone visits your ad on Facebook or Instagram and clicks on the button and it takes them to the contact form, we're going to show you how to create that contact form so that you'll be able to get information from them. All right. Then we're equally going to talk about themes. So once you install the website, the next thing you have to do is maybe to install the themes. We're going to be adding slideshows. We're going to work with social media buttons, styling the homepage to make it look beautiful, inserting a Google map. We're going to talking about newsletter sign-ups. All right. We're equally going to talk about WordPress web security, how you can secure your website. Is very, very important. If your website isn't secure, people are not going to trust whatever you are doing, all right, or whatever you're selling on that website. We're going to be equally talking about redirecting pages. Most of the digital marketing students, you're going to learn how to redirect pages as well there. All right. While web design class, you're equally going to learn about that. Then we're going to be talking about backing up your website. Now, this one sometimes it's being done automatically depending on the hosting platform you are to use. All right. Then we'll be talking about making the website live. So we always advise that if you want to design your website, it is preferable for you to actually start designing it live, right? Rather than doing it offline. Maybe try by the time you're designing your website, upon importing that site to maybe a hosting platform, you might not be able to import all the features which were there when you're designing it offline. So it's always important that if you want to design your website, you can just go to WordPress. There is a particular way you can design websites on WordPress at the WordPress website. All right. You go to Google, you type in WordPress.org, you'll be able to can create your test websites there. All right. And you see how it actually works. Then we're going to be talking about registering and hosting a website. We're going to teach you how you can get a hosting platform, which platform is actually good for you, and how you can actually host your websites. So basically, this is just a summary of what we are going to be looking at for the next 2 to 3 months, depending on how fast we are able to cover the coursework, right? Now, from what I've just explained right now, I'm just simply going to take you to a sample website, and I'll be explaining to you what I've just said right now, all right? I'm just going to just give you 1 minute. All right, so this is a very good example of a WordPress website. So this site was designed without any coding. All right. So if you look at this website very well, you're going to see we have this is what we call a menu. All right. And this first page, which appeared where you have this man here, is known as the home page. All right. So that's the home page. That's the first page your visitors are going to see when they visit your website. Then if you see this dialog box which just appeared here, trying to capture the audience, this is known as a pop-up. All right. This is known as a pop-up. You're equally going to learn how to create one. All right. So this is a home page because it gives a summary of everything that's happening on this website. All right. Then we have the other pages here. Then we have this is what we call the menu. All right. Then below here we have this WhatsApp button here. This is the live chat. So if I click on this button right now, I'll be able to send messages to uh, I'm able to contact the owners of this website. If they are live, then they'll be able to respond to the messages which I have sent. Now, you can only do this with the help of plugins. Like I earlier explained to you, that plugins help to do what? To add more features to your website. All right. Then we have what we call gallery. All right. We have what we call gallery. You see these images here were added here, maybe thanks to the help of your gallery, right? Your gallery actually carries pictures. It helps you to be able to have access to the various pictures on your website, all right? Then we have these are all, we have these slides here as well. You're going to learn how to create that as well, right? Then some websites actually have social media icons, maybe at the top here or maybe at the bottom, right? You're equally going to learn how to add social media icons. Now, some of the icons vary, all right? So there are some websites that you can actually see the social media icons at the home page. Some of them you can only see them maybe on the contact page, all right? So you're going to learn how to create a home page, services, about us, the contact page, maybe for projects. Not only that, you're not only going to learn how to create websites like this, you're equally going to learn how to create websites from different fields as well, maybe agricultural websites, um, construction websites, education websites, and so on and so forth. All right. So this is just a summary of what we are going to be looking at when we talk about web design. Now, during the course, we are going to begin with the coding aspect of it. We are going to have a brief introduction to HTML. Now, the reason why we actually want to have a brief introduction into HTML is because we want you to actually understand how websites were designed before. That's the first thing, right? The second thing is that you should be friendly with the environment, the web design environment, all right? Then the third thing is that if you see any section on your website that require you to add some coding, you should be able to know what exactly you are supposed to do at that position. For example, when we start adding codes from other sections, like from your Facebook, you need to link up your Facebook to your website. Those are all coded, and those are all HTML codings, all right, which you need to copy and you come and paste. So if you don't really understand what you're doing and you just paste, you will not know whether what you're actually doing is correct or not. And if you paste the code and it doesn't reflect, that you don't get the result, then you start asking yourself, what did I do that wasn't right? All right. So that's the reason why you need to actually understand. You need to actually understand how these HTML codings actually function, so that when you're designing your codeless website, you should be able to find a way around. You should be able to understand whatever is happening. All right. Now, these websites that you see here, though we are designing this website without coding, just know that everything you see here was designed using HTML, all right? So they have just designed these themes that we use using HTML. And what they have done is, once they are done with the design, what we do is we just simply do what we add the text, maybe able to add this text or do some changes, all right? So what we'll be teaching you is how you can actually find your way around these various themes, all right, and how to make them look beautiful. Now, let me show you what I'm saying. If I right click on this and I click on page source, if I say view page source, for example, whatever you see here, see, this is HTML. Everything here is HTML, which means that if I copy this code right now, all right, if I copy this code right now and I paste it in a section where I'm designing a website, I'll be able to reproduce this same homepage. All right, this is HTML. What you see is HTML. You see, from the beginning, you have what? HTML language is what? English US, right? We have the head. That's the head tag, right? Then from the head now, we are going to have the body. Immediately you're done with the head, you're going to have the body. I think the body should come after. Let me see where they have closed the head. Then we'll be able to identify where the body is. Right, let me just search for the body. All right, so this is where the body begins. So whatever you see from here right up, whatever you see from here right up, is part of what? The head section, all right? So the content of the website is found from here right down, all right? These are all HTML coding. So whatever we are doing, be it you're designing your website using Python, you're designing your website using CMS, just know that everything behind the scenes was done using HTML and CSS, all right? Cascading style sheet. Everything was designed using HTML and CSS. So HTML is just in charge of the way you actually structure your website, while CSS is in charge of the beauty of the website. So if you remove the CSS coding, your website won't look like this. You won't see this very beautiful and excellent website on your screen. All right. So what beautifies this website is what we call the cascading style sheet, the CSS. All right. And you can actually differentiate between CSS and HTML from here. HTML are always in this tag where you have this greater than sign and the less than sign. All right. Why the cascading style sheet, let me show you how it looks like. All right, so you see this this sign here, this one. These are all signs for what? The cascading style sheet. This is how they use to differentiate, all right, their coding. So when you're designing a website using HTML, once you place any code, all right, in between this greater than sign, or what we call the tag, all right, that is what actually defines what you actually want to place on this text which you have here. All right. We are going to learn about them. You're going to learn how to add to bold a text using HTML. You're going to learn how to add paragraph, how to add an image, how to um, maybe how to italics, underline, change the color. All right. Those are basic things which you need to know if you are a very good web developer. Because once you have this little knowledge, then you're actually going to be a very, very good web developer. All right. So this is just what I wanted us to look at during this orientation program and how the program is going to look like. So after this, I'm going to give you guys the modalities. I'm going to share this the PDF file for the course, and then we're going to give you guys the modality on what it takes to actually enroll and take part and be part of the training, when it's going to begin, and what tools, the things you actually need in order to be part of the training. All right, so we are going to entertain questions now. If you have a question, you are free to ask. So Madam Gumsuri is here. I don't know if she has anything to add to what I've just said with respect to the training. Maybe I've omitted something.
Good evening, everybody. Mr. Tamon, I think you have already said everything. And if there's something that I have to add, is that the training is going to be a very practical one, in the sense that I would like to be working with two sets of students. The people that already have money and they want to buy a domain, they can already start building online. And the people that just want to practice offline will be working offline. So it depends on what do you want. But I really like that by the end of the training, everybody already has like a built WhatsApp, a built website. Because when you learn without practicing, trust me, you only know when you practice. So I would just urge everybody to make it a very practical learning session so that we can both attain our objectives together. Thank you.
All right. Wow, that's a very important aspect which you just raised, and I think that we are going to actually implement that. I think um, what we are going to charge for the fee is going to include you maybe having a domain name for yourself, all right, and the hosting as well, so that you're actually going to practice. It's very, very important, because as far as web design is concerned, when you don't practice, you're going to forget so many things, especially when it even comes to the HTML aspect. You're going to forget so many things. All right. So we are going to be having this class in two sections. So Madam Musiri will be handling the CMS aspect. Then we are going to be having classes as well for the HTML. All right. So while you are actually going through your learning process, trying to get the codeless web design, I'll equally be orientating you on the HTML aspect. It's very, very important. It's very important for every web developer to understand um, how to how to use HTML when the time comes, because there are times which you have to copy an HTML code and you will not know how to place that code. Or maybe you are designing your website and there's a particular color, you don't even know how to change a particular color of a text, which means that the CMS does not even give you that opportunity. So what you can just do is you can just go to the text area and you'll be able to go to where that text is and add the code for bold or the code for the color red. Once you do that, it's going to affect that particular text positively, and you're going to get the results which you want. I've had so many challenges like that. There are times which I'll get a theme which I want to use now. During the process of using that theme, maybe the business which the business, the colors that are attributed to that business may be green, right? The color may be green, and of course, you want your website to actually catch up, to actually be the same as the color of the brand. So you may find yourself in a situation whereby it's very difficult for you to actually change the color, or you are searching on that CMS where to change that color, you can't find. So the best way you can do is you can just switch to the text area, search for that text, and you'll be able to add an HTML code to change that color to whatever color you want. It's going to solve that problem as soon as possible. All right. So I believe that is really going to help you as far as your web design session is concerned. All right. Any question, please? Any question?
Good evening, sir.
Yes, good
I heard
evening.
I heard talking of a domain. What is a domain?
We're going to, you actually going, a domain is like you start, you own a website. A domain, let's just say a website. You're going to buy that name, www.amazon.com is called a domain. That is the domain name. All right. So www. That extra name beside after www is known as your domain name. For example, the domain name for Tadita Group Institute is what? www.taditagroupinstitute.com. That is the domain name. Another question. Now, for the aspect of owning a website, we don't want a situation where you're just going to have a website, you spend money to get a domain name, and at the end, you actually don't need that website. All right. So if you actually have a business which you've been thinking of designing a website for, then I think this is the best time for you to actually get a domain name, so that once you are going through your classes, you're actually implementing what you've learned on your own domain name or on your own website. All right. So by the time the class comes to an end, you should already have a complete website. So I think it's going to be far more easier for you. I'm saying this especially to the web
Good evening,
developers.
sir.
Yes, good evening.
Sir,
Hello.
yes, sir. Good
Hello.
evening.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, sir. Please, I wish to ask, what is the difference between using plugins and not using the plugins?
One thing you need to understand is that it is first of all impossible for you to design a website without plugins. All right, it's first of all impossible. And secondly, you only use a plugin if it is necessary. For example, if a plugin is like plugins are like tools. All right. For example, if you build your house right now, you have your set chair, you have your tables, you have your dining. There are some things that are not necessary in your house, right? But if you want those extra things, you're actually going to buy them and you add them in your house. For example, if you build your house, you are not a fan of maybe drinking or whatever, you may decide not to put a wine bar in your house. Those are extra tools make that beautifies a house. You may decide not to buy a wall clock. You may decide not to buy maybe a chart. All right. That's just how plugins work. All right. But there are some things that you must have in your house. For example, a bed. All right. You need to have a bed in your house so you can actually sleep. You need chairs in your house so you need a television. Some of those things are what? They are necessities. The same thing goes with a website. All right. There are some plugins that you will need to have them on your website. It's a must for you to have them. While there are others which you can add them if you so want. For example, if you don't want to have a WhatsApp button on your website, then there's no need for you to install a plugin that will carry that. If you don't want to have a live chat, there is no need for you to actually install that plugin in order to have that particular feature on your website.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is Rudolph.
Yes, Rudolph.
Yeah, in contribution about the plugins. A plugin is just like something that will help you connect to a particular system. Like you rarely mention about a bar and a wine bar in a house if you're not a drunk or like somebody who is addicted to wine. Plugins is like, for instance, somebody you are having your television in your house, but since now you want to transform your television to like the flat screens and all the likes, now you need something like the wall hanger. You need to hang the screen on the wall. So that wall hanger now plays like a plugin to that your flat screen that you have to install it on the wall. That's just my little contribution.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Questions, please. Any question?
Yeah, I have one question.
Yes, go ahead.
I wish to ask if you already have good knowledge about, or we are well to do with this web design program. Is there any need for you to be subscribing?
The training program is meant for those who don't know how to design a website. I don't see any reason why, if you are a web developer and then you are registering again to attend a web design class, right? Obviously, you go to school in order to gain knowledge in a particular field. You can't have a degree in accounting and then you're going to school again to have another degree in accounting. First of all, it's not even possible, except you go to another university to have. You're trying to. It seems as if you're repeating what you're doing, but there are people who actually have knowledge in a particular field, but they still decide to go to school. For example, digital marketing is a field which you can actually, maybe on your own, you try to gain some few knowledge, but if you actually want to become a certified digital marketing expert, you need to actually go through a school. You need to go through an institute so that by the time you're done, you actually have your certifications. Because if you are trying to take digital marketing or web design as a career, you obviously need a backup, and that backup is what? Your certification. All right, you need something to back up to show that you have actually gone through a training program and you've actually followed the ethics of designing a website, all right, before a company can recruit you, which is very, very important. So that's the reason why you see this course is available here, because at the end of the course, we are going to give you guys certifications to show that you've actually completed this course, which means you are a certified web developer. So you can boast of being a web developer, and you can add it on your CV if at all you are looking for a job. All right. And there are times which you may want to design a website for someone, and the person will actually want to know if you are actually qualified to design that site. All right. And trust me, when you go through an institute and you have a certification for designing a website, when you have a client, your approach towards that client is totally different from someone who just did it maybe on the streets, or he just tried to patch up one or two things. The approach should be totally different. That's the reason why there are graphic designers and there are graphic designers. All right. There are graphic designers and there are graphic designers. What I'm trying to say here is that you can charge someone 1,000 francs for a logo or 5,000 francs for a logo, because maybe you just did one or two crash courses somewhere and you have the knowledge and you know that it does not affect you. But somebody who went to school, studied web graphic design, spent about 1 million just to obtain a certification and was able to gain that knowledge. Trust me, if someone meets him to design a logo, trust me, he's going to charge the person very high, because he knows the value of what he has. Right? He knows the value of what he has, and he has a backup to actually uh, show for. So these are things which you need to understand. There are so many people who don't go to school, not that they don't know, but they actually want to do what? To add value. They want to improve on their skills and to add value to what? Your skill. All right. It is very, very important. That's the reason why so many people who left, let's say you're in Cameroon, you left Cameroon, you had skills maybe in accounting, banking, and finance. When you move to another country, what would they do? They'll tell you, go back to school, bring us a certificate, maybe bring us a certification from here to prove that you actually know this particular skill. All right. That's the reason why, even after moving from Cameroon to UAE, I still had to do what? You have to still go under another orientation to have a certification that will back up whatever certification you had before. All right. So it is very, very important. It is very, very important. If you think you already have the skills, there's some people who may want to just add to what they have. All right. But if you think you already know the skills and you don't actually need the class again, then there is no need for you to even be part of the training session. All right. I don't know, Madam Sirat, Madam Guma, I think you had something to say. Yes, you have the floor.
Yes. Another advantage is when you work with an organization, I believe that there's no challenge that we cannot overcome together. It's different when you work alone. Like, it's advantageous when you're associated with an organization. If you have a problem where you face difficulties, let me say you have a client and that client wants an e-commerce website, but you have never actually designed an e-commerce website. What you do is you actually get the client and then you say the difficulties that you have. So it'll be like a learning on the job but you're going to actually deliver a very good job that your client will be okay. So you have like a lifetime mentorship. We work together till you're okay to be on your own, something like that.
Yeah, that's very, 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 very important information, which I think she has shared with you. All right. So, majority of our courses, once you are in for life. You can attend our training from now till thy kingdom come, which means that if we are adding new modules, for example, we take an example of digital marketing, right? Digital marketing is a field that evolves. Things do change every blessed day. New modules keep coming up as far as digital marketing is concerned. So if you learn and then after that you get your certificate and you go, if there are new modules that come up, you will not be able to be, you will not be able to actually get that update. All right. But when you're part of the institute, immediately these updates come up and the classes, there is a new module that comes up. You are going to join the class. And if you want to attend our web design class, once you've registered, you want to attend the web design class till infinity, you don't have a problem. We'll always share the Zoom link. You can always join. Once a student, you will always be a web design student. And of course, a lot of things will always change. Maybe in one particular class, we talked about, we focus more on e-commerce platforms. Maybe another class, we focus more on affiliate websites, affiliate marketing websites. Maybe on another class, we focus more on marketplace. You cannot teach web design in itself. There is no field that you can actually complete maybe within the period that has been given. With digital marketing, even 3 months is still very small, all right? But we make sure that we fulfill the academic conditions, we get your exams, and then when there are other practical sessions, you can always join those sessions now to do what, to keep updating your skills. Any other question, please? So to Mr. Kinyo Rudolph, I think I see you have knowledge as far as web design is concerned. So this one about joining the class, it's your choice. You have to decide whether you want to join the class or you don't want to join the class. It's up to you. All right. If you feel maybe you just wanted to maybe attend the orientation to gain more, gain some knowledge, it's good and fine. If you think you already have a standard in a way, a standard which you don't think you actually need the training, good and fine. So it's not a question of whether you should or you shouldn't. That one depends on you. Tekwek, you have been silent. Kelson, who again? I think Ahmed Atut has spoken. Any other contribution, please? Any other question? All right. If there are no questions, then I think we are going to call it off for the night. For all the digital marketing students, Kinyo,
Yeah,
it
I have
seems you
a,
have a question.
yes,
Yeah,
sir.
what's your question? Yes, what's your question?
Will there be a training on PHP?
Sorry?
PHP.
We are going to focus only on CMS and HTML.
Okay, sir.
Any other question, please? All right. If there are no questions, then we are going to have another session in the forum itself. I think so many people did not join, maybe because of the internet connection as usual. All right. It's always a problem in Cameroon, so it's always difficult for people to join a Zoom session. So we are going to have the other orientation there so that everybody can be able to know how the program is going to look like, the date we are going to begin, and a fee that is attributed to the course. All right. And of course, all resources will be provided to you. All our classes, all our practical sessions are going to be live. We are not going to do offline trainings. All right. Everything we are going to be working with real websites, and we have so many websites that we are going to use them for our practical sessions. There are already live websites that are currently running. We are going to be using them for our case study. So I think it is really going to help you to understand it more better rather than just doing a casual practical session, maybe offline. We are going to be working with real live websites. So for every module that we handle, we are going to implement that on a real website. Good enough, we have so many of them. And equally, we are going to show you how you can get your own domain name if you want to do it on your own. Maybe the cheapest or the most effective place or place where you can actually get your hosting, if you actually want to start hosting your website on your own, where you can actually get the best hosting platform and how you can host your websites and so on and so forth. So we are going to actually discuss that in the forum. We are going to give you a date which we are going to discuss all of that so that you can be able to understand how the course is going to run. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those who just came in, please, you just have to go through the recorded session. I know it's not been easy as far as the internet connection is concerned, but we want to thank you for trying to make an effort to join the session. Nevertheless, we'll share the recorded session so you can go through it, try to know what we've done during the training, and you're going to see how you can move from there. I don't know, any last words from Madame Gumsuru? Last words? Okay, if there are no other words,
No, I think I'm satisfied with everything that we have discussed so far, and it's just left for us to start the classes and the practical sessions.
all right, all right. So thank you all for joining us this evening. All right, and we are hoping to see you all on the other side, which is going to be the practical session. I know majority of you may equally have your maybe graphic web design background. Will equally encourage you to share your experience with us as well. All right, you can share with us what you learned. You can equally help students to actually improve on their own web design skills. I think it's going to help them. You can equally become maybe a mentor to individual students, those who actually need their help. There are some people who have never done web design in their life. There are some people who have heard about it. There are some people who have pre-knowledge about it. All right. So make sure during that program, please don't hesitate to share what you have with us. We will be very, very happy if you can share your experience with us. You can share with us what you've learned. All right, because during this process we are equally learning as well. All right. So always bring up what you know so that we can equally help us and the students who are going to be part of the training program. All right. Thank you all for joining us today and hoping to see you all. All right. Hoping to see you all in the training program proper. Goodbye for now.